Alright, I am starting up the stream. Should be going. Okay, looks like the stream is going. Hi everyone, I'm TigerOcty3, and today I'm going to code some C++. I'm learning it. Today will be FizzBuzz. If you watched the Python FizzBuzz stream I did a while ago, or you already know about FizzBuzz, this will not be new to you, but for the rest of you, the idea is that you have a sequence of numbers, and like 1 to 100, and you have to go through them and print fizz if the number is divisible by 3, and also buzz if it's divisible by 5, otherwise nothing. That's pretty much it. So, let's also get my headphone wire to not be noisy. Let's make a loop. I don't need this actually. Let's make a loop for int I equals 1, and this style of loop with a for loop in C++ has 3 kind of sections in this parenthesis. The first one is an initialization sort of thing, something to do before you start the loop, and then you have a semicolon, and then you have an ending condition. We're going to make that I is greater than 100, and then we have an update expression, something that's something that happens with each iteration of the loop. And we're going to do ++i. You can't do that in Python. Well, you can, but it doesn't mean the same thing. In Python, ++i would be positive I. In C and similar languages, it means increment I by 1. Okay, if let's actually do, let's go to 10 first. I've not included a using standard statement, so I have to fully qualify it, and the double colon is it's basically the access operator, instead of something dot something else, which is used in some places in C but not everywhere. It's 2 colons. Standard cout, and I'm going to insert into the standard output about I. Actually, I mod 3. And then I'm going to add to that standard endline. See this, here we have all manner of little handy stuff, like this little red dot means there's an error in this line, and that error is I don't have a semicolon. And now it's gone. Hooray. Anything else? This is what I'm gonna do to start with, just to see. And this standard endline is it inserts an end of line character into wherever you're going, and also flushes the output. So let's save, and let's run that. And here we go. Let me actually move this to the other side. Didn't do anything. That doesn't seem right. Did I I had changed the name of this. I don't know if that messes something up. Let me change it back to Win32 Project 1. I don't know. Now will it work? Should have printed something. I don't know why this isn't printing. I tested this 6 minutes ago, and it was working. Now it's not. Let's rename that back, since that wasn't the issue. Include IOStream and main, etc. I mean, there are no errors. Let's just do something else. Should have had an end line there. 1 until... Oh no, this is... No, never mind. This is a while this condition is true. Oops. That was a really dumb mistake. Alright. 120, 120, 120. Alright. Very good. That's better. So, that's just to make sure that everything is working and I have these things right. Now I'm going to change this to 100. And I'm going to add a branch. That's an if statement. If I mod 3 equals 0. Actually, we don't really need that. Standard cout get fizz. No, I don't need that. Oh, I do need this. Wow, it automatically inserted white space. Okay. White space is actually not significant in C and C++, but the IDE cares. I'm using, by the way, Microsoft Visual Studio 2015 Community Edition, which is free, actually, so that's pretty good. imod 5 equals 0. Now, I could do, what I could do instead is I could add races like this, and this is what I would do if I wanted more than one statement. Blah blah blah. Semicolon. It doesn't know what that is. That's okay. But if you only have one statement, then you don't need braces for the compound statement. Okay, if this 0 fizz, that's 0 buzz. I want to keep track of if either of these happened. We will need a here's what we'll do. Bool flag equals false. Okay. And now we will do this. And then we do flag gets true. Same thing here, flag is true. Not that much, thank you. And then if flag, we need need to put in parentheses, standard.cout, an end line. And then we set it back to false. Okay. I think that will work. Let's actually make this 10 again, and then build it. We have FizzBuzz, FizzFizz. So that's 1 is divisible by neither 3 nor 5. Same for 2. 3 is divisible by 3. So we have 3. 4, no. 5 is only buzz. Then 6 and 9. So that's great. Okay. Let me change to 100. It's not really any difference, but there you have it. 3, 5, 6, 9, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, and so on. There's FizzBuzz. We can make it a little easier to see, I guess, by doing this. Else I. Let's actually do if not flag. Then we want to do I. And then unconditionally. Okay. What will this do? If it's divisible by 3, we say fizz and say it's true. Buzz, true. And if we didn't set a flag, the exclamation mark is the logical not operator instead of Python's not, N-O-T. So if we didn't print either of these, we will print the number itself. And we don't actually need this, do we? If we didn't print fizz or buzz, then print the number. And in either case, we want an end of line, and then set the flag back to false. There's lots of ways to write this, and lots of variations, etc. So there we go. 1, 2, fizz, 4, buzz, fizz, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, blah, blah, blah. 15, 18, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27. We have 30 there. That's FizzBuzz. So 98, 99. I cut off the last one. I think I had 11 previously. Not anymore. When I wanted from 1 to 10, I had 11 there, and then I changed it to 100. So, 98, 99, 100. Great. So, I don't know why it lets me scroll down so far, but that's okay. So main is a special function, and the compiler looks for a function called main in your program and runs that one. Notice how I never call main anywhere? Does this have a... Oh, okay, it does, in a way. But main, I never explicitly call it. In Python, you would have to explicitly call a function somewhere for things to happen. It's actually a common source of beginner errors for someone to have some kind of function wrapping their entire program and then never actually call it after they define it. And they say, there's no error, but it doesn't work, nothing happens, and it's like, you have to call it. Main is called automatically in C. And it is expected to return 0 for successful termination, or non-zero, I guess, like 1, for example, if it was not successful. And that's pretty much it. I have these include statements. This one was provided automatically when I created a project. And this one is so I can do this cout stuff. Another way of printing things is printf fizz. So I could have done that instead, and it would be pretty equivalent to this. Doesn't really matter. But this is the C++ way of doing stuff, which I'm trying to get the hang of, because C has goto. Should never need goto. Shouldn't be a thing. But anyway, save it. Build. Where's that? Oh yeah, and debug. I think I do have to build first. Okay. Now it's built and ready, and it creates an exe file, actually, somewhere. Somewhere in here? No? Anyway, it creates an exe file in the project folder, which by default is your documents or my documents, and then documents, Visual Studio 2015, projects, and then the name of your project, which in my case is Win32 Project 1. And then you have, I think, debug. Yes, and then in debug, it creates an executable. I'm gonna run this executable right now, and it finished. I'm gonna do the following. Make one of those. Debug. Okay. That is a very long. Let's do that. Debug, and Win32 Project 1.exe. There it is. Didn't have to recompile the whole thing. It just goes. Didn't have to start up an interpreter, because it's native code. It was compiled, and that's sometimes handy. So Alberto Ceballos in chat says, have you liked C++ so far? Mostly, all I've done with it is this and Hello World and the Fibonacci sequence, and halfway through a tutorial. I've been learning it for like 2 days, 3 days so far, so I don't really I don't know if I can make a determination quite yet, but I don't think I can really say that it's bad. If I spend time with it and don't like it, I can say that I don't like it, but it's C. So I don't really have any room to say that it's bad, because it obviously isn't. It is a proven language, so that's something. Of course, to run this particular program, someone would have to have a Windows machine to run an exe, or they would have to compile the source for their platform. So not quite as easily portable as a JavaScript thing, but it works fine, it's fast. So, yeah. Um, seems fine, and I haven't used goto yet, but I know it's a thing. Pretty sure it's a keyword somewhere. Yeah, goto, it's a keyword. See, it's blue. But we don't want it, because don't do that. Apparently in just C, not C++, there's no exception handling. You can't raise an exception. It doesn't have that. So instead of trying some procedure that might raise an exception, you just check for an exceptional condition, and then you go to some kind of cleanup code or whatever, and it's very convenient. I don't know if I approve of that. But, so yeah, C++, so there will be exception handling somewhere. And there's also classes, actual classes with methods and everything, so that should be nice to have. There's also like 3 or 4 ways to express anything, because there's like the original C way to do something, and then C++ adds some other way of writing it, and then later they think another syntax will be nice. So there's like 3 or 4 ways to do any moderately complex task, like instantiate an object, for example. And I mean like ways as in syntax, like with and equals or without, and they're all equivalent. So that's FizzBuzz. 24 minus 4, 20 lines. So that's FizzBuzz, and I don't know what I'll do with this next. I'll have to find something. I already did the Fibonacci sequence, as I mentioned, just as a test, and found some interesting things, like the default flags in Visual Studio are to run runtime checks on your program, which is useful for debugging and stuff. But that flag is not compatible with compiler optimization. So if you have a recursive function that is tail recursive, it will not do any tail call optimization if you have the default runtime checks active, because it's not compatible. So I initially wrote a little function to calculate Fibonacci numbers, and then found that well, not found, but recalled that C and C++ don't automatically convert integers to a big int sort of type, arbitrarily large numbers when needed, so it just overflows. With unsigned long, you can get to like 20 digits, which is pretty big, but the 1000th Fibonacci number is like 200 digits long. So first I had fun with that, and then compiler stuff, turning on the tail call optimization, because without it, it will just have a stack overflow. That's a familiar term, right? And then apparently it doesn't tell you that. It just says the application stopped working. So it's good that I knew what it was. I recognized a stack overflow because it's like, it would be that if it weren't doing any optimization. And that was what told me that it wasn't doing any optimization. I had written that function specifically to see tail call optimization. Like, now I can write this recursively. and use an arbitrarily large number, like the 5,000th or something. It failed at like 4,700-ish. Sorry about that. And so yeah, I eventually found how to turn off the runtime check and turn on optimization, and then it worked like I wanted it to. So it was an interesting little learning experience, but I'll think of something to do next, and apart from that will be games, business as usual. So thanks for watching, and thanks for stopping by and chat. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and that is the stream. So I'll see you next time, and have a good one.